Mhm.
So I'll share this up on a YouTube video that you can reference if you need to. Okay, so let's
Okay.
just like hypothetically, I'm just gonna draw in like a morph, right? So we'll
Mhm.
say that this is, we'll make it a morph cube. So a 2 by 2 by 2 cube, right?
Mhm.
It's important to actually use place it relative to the 0, 0 origin because we want the 2D and the 3D to line up.
Okay.
So then what we do is I'm going to
How
take
do you find where the 0, 0 origin is?
if you zoom out on the screen, it's going to be that gray
Mm.
X. It'll be
Okay.
the same size regardless. So the fastest way to find it is just turn all layers off and then do a zoom extent. You might have some stuff on the ArchiCAD layer, but you should be able, like if you zoom extent, it's going to be the same gray dot somewhere on the screen.
Okay.
So
And is
uh,
it best to work in the teamwork file when doing this or in a
I think
separate?
so. Yeah. Well, you could do it in a separate file, but you would have to then bring it over. So I'll run you through that as well.
Okay.
So let's just take a quick look here at like, okay, so that's my 3D part, and then I'm gonna grab a fill here, and we'll make this, right, so there's a fill, and then, I don't know, let's just, if it, for example, it's a chair, we'll just do something like this.
Mhm.
So this is what I want my 2D to look like. That's what my 3D looks like. So I'm going to
Mhm.
take the 2D stuff and I'm going to move it over here. We'll say 5 feet for right now. Okay. So usually what I do from here is I take the 3D stuff that they've sent you. And if they send it to you as like a SketchUp part, you can right click and convert that to morph.
Mhm.
So that way you can save it as a new object.
Yeah.
Um,
I've
but
been
I,
saving them as an object, but I haven't been assigning a 2D to them.
okay. Yeah, so to make the 2D part, it's just a couple of steps more. So what I
Okay.
usually do is I start by grabbing a screenshot of the 3D part so that I get a thumbnail. And then
Mhm.
when you come into here, you select the stuff that you're going to save as the 3D component, and you're going to go to File, Libraries and Objects, Save Selection as Object. Um, Give it a name like you've been doing, and then under Details, we'll say Change Details, Set Preview, grab that screenshot, right? So that's the thumbnail.
Mhm.
I always
Mhm.
put my initials here so people know who did it. If you've got a description, that's just if there's information relevant to how it was made,
Mhm.
don't have to. Keywords can be useful if there's a manufacturer, whatever you want to make searchable in the object tool, right?
Mhm.
So you set all of that up, you say okay, and then I'll usually start by placing that object. So there's the 3D component.
Mhm.
And then I'll grab these fills or the 2D components and move those over to here. And I'm going to do the same thing with these. I'm going to go to File, Libraries and Objects, Save Selection as Object. And it doesn't really matter what we call this. We're just going to use this to generate the 2D script. We'll say
Mhm.
Save. We don't have to worry about the preview or the thumbnail. We'll say Create. And then there's the 2D part. So now I have a 2D symbol that's going to associate with this 3D object. So I'm going to open both of those up now, Command Option O, or you can go to File, Libraries and Objects, and Open Object.
Mhm.
And you're going to open both of those up. Now, because the chair here, if we look at the parameters, right, there's only actually, it doesn't even look like there's a fill used in here. So we might need to add some attributes to this to make it work. But basically what we
Mhm.
want is this 2D script right here needs to go away. So we're going to grab all of this and we can either delete it or just hit the null command, the comment line,
Mhm.
essentially making all of that void. And then we're going to come into the 2D part right here. And we don't need all of this stuff. We're going to grab all of this and copy it. We're going to come into here and we're going to paste it. Now, because the 2D and the 3D don't always line up, um, and usually we don't necessarily need them to be resizable. So the mul command is it going to resize? So if your X and your Y dimensions of both the 2D and the 3D are exactly the same, you can keep the
Mhm.
mul command, but we do want to get rid of the add command. So we're going to void that out, and I'll go ahead and just void out the mul command as well. And then do the same thing in the 3D. We want to take the add and the mul lines. Where's my add lines? Oh, it might not have had an add line. So it tries to on the quadrants. You have the X and the Y quadrant plane.
Mhm.
It's if you put it centered on that 0, 0, it's gonna get an add command in order to shift the whole thing into the positive quadrant. That's
Mhm.
what the add command does.
Mhm.
But in this case, there is none in the 3D, so we'll just will null out the mold commands. So it's not resizable now.
Okay.
Which
So
means
that
under
just fixes its dimensions that you got
fixes
back.
its dimensions to whatever size it was, which is fine because it's per the interior designer.
Hmm.
So we can then X out the A, B, and Z, Z, Y, Z, X, the X, Y, Z resizing because they're not going to do anything without that mold line. Um,
Hmm.
Now the other thing, so if we look at your 2D view now, it shows here. We do want to run a check script and it says fill not found, which I kind of suspected that that would be the case.
Hmm.
So if we take this fill attribute here, copy that. So that's the parameter name. And we're going to add, let's just add a new parameter here. And we'll paste in that text and we'll make that a fill. Give it a name here. We'll just say airspace. That's fine for now. Double check. And the GDL is okay. So that's our 2D script. Now, one thing that I usually do just to double check it is there's a script line called project2. So you can type in project2, 3, comma 270, comma 2. And what that does is it does the floor plan projection of this. So if we
Hmm.
had kept the add command here, for example, it may be offset by that distance. So
Hmm.
the eliminating the add command ensures that they're going to overlap perfectly. This is just a double check to see. So if we said add to 3, something like that, right? We should be able to see, yeah. So they don't line up there because of the add command. So eliminating the add command means that they're going to save based on where they were actually saved from. So this is
Hmm.
just a double check. So we can get rid of that now. But all of this stuff you copy and paste from that 2D object that you saved.
Hmm.
So yeah, you just basically you take their 2D stuff if they sent you a DWG, save those lines as a 2D object, save their object from a morph to a 3D object, and copy and paste the 2D into the 3D.
Okay. And then should I go back in and delete the 2D object that we created?
Yeah, so after you're done, you can delete the 2D from the library manager. If
Okay.
you do this in a separate file, what you could do is you can go to File New, use the latest project settings and launch in a new instance. So that way you know the attributes, the pens, the lines, the fills, the surfaces and stuff are all there from the Zisters project.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and that's really all there is to it. If you wanted this to be accessible in your other project, if you do this in a separate standalone project, you can do a save as and browse, save it to your desktop, and then drag and
Hmm.
drop from your desktop into the floor plan of your working file.
Okay. Cool.
Okay?
Yeah, that's helpful.
All right.
Awesome.
I'll go ahead and load this up to